Hello, my name is Tanya Weekly, and I'm here with you from Peddler's Den. Thank you for joining me today. We're going to be working through our project called Peace on Earth, and we actually are offering this in two different price points and two different kit sizes. The value kit is what we're going to be focusing on today. The value kit was designed primarily for our non-stamping crafting sisters. So this is if you're a scrapbooker or a paper crafter and you really don't want to stamp and you really don't want to color, this is the kit for you. Now, if you are a rubber stamper and you want to build your collection of stamps and you want the greatest possible flexibility so that you can use stamps over and over and again, you're going to want the full kit. The full kit includes the stamp set that was used to make this. This is our Peace on Earth stamp set. It also includes the snowbank. Now the snowbank is an all-terrain, all-season image. This is what we use to make the snowbanks on this card, but it can be used to make earth. You know, if you add flowers and color it green and what have you, it looks like a rolling meadow. It can be used as sand. All you have to do is detail it out, and now you've got sand for your beach scenes. It's one of our best-selling, most versatile images. The stamp set, the Peace on Earth stamp set, is also very versatile. It has several trees, which you can never have too many trees. It has two different fence options. It has a primitive-looking shack and a pair of does, and it also has the stamp that says Peace on Earth. So if you're a stamper and you really want the best value, the full kit offers you the best value. However, there are some of you who have very clearly told us you do not want to stamp and you do not want to color, and the value kit is for you. So we're getting ready to stamp our mask. You're going to take the Eclipse tape that's included in your kit and you're going to stamp it. I'm using black to stamp mine, but you can use any color you want. As long as you can see where to cut it, it's going to work for you. Now, we're using the stamp on our Grip It on our block. Grip It is a signature item that Peddler's Den developed. You can purchase it on our website. There will be a discount code that you can use if you choose to. And it not only holds our plain red rubber to our blocks and or our platforms like the Misty, but it also helps your clear stamps to stamp better. It gives it some cushion, and you just generally get better results. Again, it is portable. You can put it on your block, you can take it off your block, you can use it in your Misty, you can put it between the protective sheets that it comes between and store it. So it offers a lot of value. Now for the purposes of this project, you're going to cut right on the line that you stamp here. Your paper, your Eclipse tape, I shouldn't say paper, your Eclipse tape that comes in your kit is plenty large enough to make a minimum of 2 of these, and you might even be able to squeeze 3 out of it. You're going to cut right on the line, and that's going to enable you to drag and blend your inks and your tones right to the snowbank without overlapping. If you position this on the card too high, you're going to get a white gap. Those are called halos. If you position it too low, you're going to get some tone on your snowbank, which is not the end of the world. So we're going to take a step backwards and look at some of the compositions. This is the original composition. This is a sample of the other 2 variations that are included in the value kit. But this is so versatile. You can even do something like this, and it's very attractive. You can put a sentiment of your choice up here and you know, maybe even added some more trees over here. But this stamp set is very, very versatile and will give you lots and lots of value for years to come. That's one of the nice things about scenic stamping. You can go back and you can use these trees on any kind of a scene. 20 years from now, you can pull them back out again and make something brand new and fresh with them. Your kit includes blending ovals. Now, the blending oval is also a signature item that Peddler's Den developed. We use it to drag and blend our inks. We use it to drag and blend the tone here. We also used it in the sky. I know that the camera isn't going to show this as well as I would like it to, but hopefully you can see, you know, the wisp of clouds. You know, this looks like there's it's a gray winter day and maybe there's a storm rolling in. You can use it to have puffier clouds. You can use it to just do tone that is more linear, like this. The difference between using a blending oval and a blending brush is that you have this 90-degree angle right here. And I use this 90-degree angle to make all kinds of little wispy textures, water ripples, wispy clouds in my sky. This is something that you simply cannot do with a blending brush. Having said that, if you prefer to use blending brushes, you can do this entire card with blending brushes. For the purposes of the work along, we're going to be using our blending ovals. Now, your kit includes a couple of the ovals, but it does not include a handle. So if you're going to use the ovals, you're going to have something to mount them on. This is an example of the Peddler's Den tool that we have developed. If you still have in your craft box some of the old Keller Box stylus handles, these work fine. So if you were going to use this, what you would do is you would take a piece of Scotch permanent double stick tape and you would put it on the back of the oval. Now the back side of the oval is the side that has the linen on it. Do not put the tape on the foam side. Then you're going to take your handle, whether it's the Keller Box one or whether it's ours, and you are going to push really, really hard to try to press that adhesive on there as firmly as possible. For me to decide whether it's firm enough, I usually will kind of like tap it, make sure it doesn't fall off. That is sufficient. If you use the tool properly, it should stay on. When people have trouble with them coming off, they're usually scrubbing hard or trying to do a motion like this. That'll pop the tip off. The motion I use is like this. And if you notice, I've left the tip hang off here, and I've left a little bit of it hang off on here as well. That's important because you want the end of that to be a little bit flexible. And when you pick up your ink and you're blending, a motion like this is the best motion. You barely touch the paper. We typically use a light blue or a light gray ink as well as a medium blue. And I've made dozens of these cards. Each one is a little bit different. Most of mine have very subtle color, which doesn't show up real well on the camera. If you like bolder color, you may want to choose bolder colors, or you may want to use more color. For the purposes of what we're doing today, we're going to try to focus on technique. So I'm going to take a used mask, and I'm going to position it on here. And you really want that mask to be positioned right on the image. This mask may not have been cut as precisely as I like, but we're gonna use it. It's gonna work. Now, the blending ovals, I usually will get 2 colors because I only put ink on the very tip. So I can pop this off, flip it around, and have one oval can accommodate 2 colors. Let's see what I've got here on my desk. I'm going to start by using a very, very, very light ink. This is kind of a blue-gray. I'm going to pick up some ink with the end of my brush here. And I like to actually start on the paper and wisp off. Now I usually will go along and put that base tone on all of the different snowbanks before I go back. Yeah, I'm going to have to use a mask that's cut a little more precisely. I just wanted you to be able to see the positioning. All right, I'm going to pick up, I'm going to pull some up off onto the card. And this is doing 2 things. This is laying down a tone, but it's also laying down lubrication. Now I'm going to set this aside, and I'm going to go right to one of my darker ones because I want you to be able to see this. I'm going to pick up a little bit of ink, and I'm going to come back, and again, I'm starting on the paper because I don't want my ink to be too dramatic right out of the gate. What we're actually doing is we're creating the shadow that the snow is creating because it's piled up there. And by creating the shadow, it will define the snowbank. Now I can come back and I can blend that out a little bit more with the lighter color. If you just keep pulling, it's going to just keep moving that ink. And the reason for that is because we are working on coated cardstock. This cardstock will dry by evaporation, not by absorption. So that ink is sitting up on top of the cardstock until such time as you let it sit long enough that it evaporates dry. So if you pull this back, you're already seeing that we've got some real dramatic color. Now I see I had it positioned a little bit wrong here, and there's a little bit of a gap here. And I'm going to put this on here and fix that while I still can do that easily. There we go. Now, obviously, we're going to have to do this a few more times. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to use the light one again. This is lubrication as well as color. And when I say color, it's tone. Now, like I said, you may want more or less color than what I use. I kind of sort of am a subtle person. I like subtleties. I'm going to come down over here. And we're going to add some here. And I'm going to go back with my light and I'm going to try to mute that down a little bit, and that just moves effortlessly. So you see we're developing the contour of our snowbanks by adding some shadowing. Now when it comes time to do the sky, I'm going to come back with my light one, and I'm going to try to lay down a foundation which is more about lubrication than it is about form. So I'm just kind of blobbing it on here. Now once I have that nice and lubricated, I talked about this 90-degree angle. You can come back and you can actually draw little wispies and what have you. You can make it look like it's wind, you know, just little suggestions. And if you want to accentuate that a little bit, you can add a little more ink. You can see how that looks like the bottom of kind of a thunder or a storm cloud. And you'll see me kind of blotting ink off here when I just kind of want to soften an edge, because I want to blot off the ink so that I can pick up ink instead of adding more. Let's see if we can get a little more cloud going on here. And I think the greatest strength of these ovals is probably the fact that you can actually do little wispy lines with them, which you cannot do with a brush. So, you know, you have to kind of decide what do you want your sky to look like. Do you want it to look like just horizontal tone? Do you want some storm clouds? What exactly do you want your sky to look like? Now, one of the nice things about this technique is that once it's completely dry, you can come back and you can add to it if you need to. Let me see if I can get a little more going on here. To properly do this, you really need to spend a little bit of time, and but by putting the mask on, you could actually bring the tone of the sky all the way down to the snowbank if you wanted to. Now, another thing I like to do is I don't like my edges to just be plain. So a lot of times what I'll do, I gotta watch my time. Oh my goodness. Well, we're doing okay. So a lot of times I will come in and I will tone my edges. Now you're going to see me switch to the other color, and I'm going to bring a little bit of tone in here. This helps to frame the card a little bit. Some of you probably are used to doing direct to paper, distressing the edges and what have you. It's a similar concept. And if you're more comfortable doing something else or not doing anything at all, then that's totally fine too. One of the nice things is anytime you're doing something like this, you are the artist. There are no rights and wrongs. I'm a real big proponent of artist interpretation. I don't think Any two people's artwork should really look the same. So we do a little bit of toning. The other thing is, I like to add just a little bit of brown on my fence post. So I'll take a water-based marker. Oops, I see I just flipped the lid off somewhere. I'll take a water-based marker. This happens to be a Tombow. There's other ones out there. And I will add brown to my fence post. And along the fence here. And even over here on the exposed areas of the tree. Now you might want those white. You might want to suggest that they're snow. But I kind of like adding a little bit of brown. I think it adds to the piece overall. And if you look back at this one, you can see where I have added brown here, and I've added brown here. And I believe it just adds a little bit to the whole thing. So these are the techniques that are used here. Now, I'm going to come back, and this has to be really, really light. Of course, I'm kind of a subtle kind of artist. I don't like a tremendous amount of color. But what I'm doing is I am deepening some of the cloud tones here with a second color. I'm using my blue. That pulls some of the blue up into the sky, which balances the artwork a little bit, but it's also accentuating some of the different tone in the clouds. So that is the basic technique for this. Now, to add glitter, I like to use the Bearly Art Glue. When you purchase this, it comes with the stainless steel pin, it comes with your tips, it comes with everything. I call it paint the areas where I want my glitter to stick with the adhesive. And I use loose glitter, then I just dust it and tap off the excess. When it's all dry, if I need to add more, I go back and I add more. I usually put some in the trees as well as along the snow. I like it to look like there's a certain amount of light glaring or sparkling on the snow. Any adhesive that will dry completely clear will work. The Bearly Art happens to be our favorite, and you can find it on our website. But I have found that the Tombow Mono Aqua, which is the blue adhesive that has a ballpoint tip on it, that can also be used, and a lot of people already own that. Going back to some of these, I'm hoping that you can really see the cloud formations here. The cloud formations are arguably the most difficult to create. And I'm going to see if I can pull this a little closer to the camera. You can see how I've built them up so that you've got the dark here, but then you've kind of got the white billow and the dark underneath here. I tend to make the bottoms of my clouds, when it's a winter scene, I tend to make the bottoms a little bit darker than the tops. But you can see that we have different cloud formations. On this one, I put the mask here and I really deepened this. So let's go back. And we can do that here too. Oops, I don't have it quite close enough. You want to make sure you get these masks on correctly. Okay, so I'm going to come back with my blue, and we're going to kind of define the horizon line here a little bit. So you can see now that's much more defined. And you can come over here and you can do the same thing. By doing that, you've really defined that horizon line. So far we've spent all of our time talking about technique, tools, and the value kit. Oh, I guess I should say too, every kit comes with the piece ovals. The only thing I do with the piece oval is I fussy cut it, and then I adhere it to the card wherever I want it. It can be the top of the middle, it can be down in a corner, it can be anywhere. You can use you can use something to pop it up if you like it to, be up off of the card, or you can mount it flat. That's all part of that artistic interpretation that I'm talking about. But, you may even choose not to use it. You may want to go with something like this or like this. But the ovals are included. Now, when we go back and we talk a little bit about the full kit, you're going to use some masking to create the scene. If you go to our YouTube channel, which is Peddler's Den Making a Scene. If you go to the YouTube channel, Peddler's Den Making a Scene, there is a full-length work-along for the full kit. Clearly it was broadcast over a different group, but it will help you actually start with a white piece of paper and build your scene without, having anything pre-printed. That work long is almost an hour long, so it's just simply too long to include in this event. However, we wanted to offer all of you the opportunity to purchase the full kit and to have success with it if you're the kind of paper crafter that would like to do that. Like I said earlier, there will be a discount. So when you go to the website and you want to make some purchases, the kits are already discounted, so you're getting the best price when you purchase them. However, if you wanted to add additional blending ovals or handles or anything that is a Making a Scene brand, like the Grip It, all of those things can be added, and with the discount code, you can get a better price and combined freight. If you want to add something like the Eclipse tape or the Bearly Art glue, unfortunately, the discount code is not going to work on those, but now would be a good time to get them because you're still going to get combined freight. I really encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel because you'll be getting notifications when we put additional things up. We do a lot of brief tutorials. If you go there, you'll find that there are tutorials that talk about using the blending ovals, blending brushes, the Grip It, and just various work-alongs and techniques. Let's do a quick recap. Once again, I am Tanya. The company name is Peddler's Den. When you go shopping, you will go to peddlersden.com. There are 2 kits. You can go to the kit category. There is the value kit for $22, and there is the full kit. And remember, the full kit includes all of the stamps. Some of the things that you might want to add on to help you have success with this and other projects like it would be the handles that are used with the blending ovals, perhaps some extra blending ovals. If you're interested in the inks that we have used, we've used the Making a Scene Black, the Making a Scene Yorktown Blue, which I believe we just renamed Steel Blue, the Making a Scene Light Cool Gray. These are all water-based inks. Water-based is the same as dye ink. Remember, the semi-gloss cardstock dries by evaporation, not by absorption. The dye inks stay on the surface and allow you to move them around, manipulate them, blend them before they're going to dry completely. A warning is the new hybrid inks that include oils, the pigment inks that are oil-based. Those don't work well on this unless you're going to emboss. You may want to purchase some additional paper, especially if you're purchasing the full kit. That's the Peddler's Den 100-pound white coated 2-sided semi-gloss cardstock. The Eclipse tape, of course, is an essential. The Grip It, there's a video on our YouTube channel that deals just with the Grip It. Like I mentioned earlier, it works well with the clear stamps, but it was designed to be used with the red rubber stamps. It doesn't have much tack to it. When you first get it and you feel it, you're going to think, well, you know, this house is going to hold anything. And yet it does until it becomes contaminated. When it becomes contaminated, you need to clean it, and you need to clean it with our cleaner. This is the Peddler's Den Ink Remover and Grip It Cleaner. It safely removes pretty much any ink from any stamp, and it decontaminates the Grip It. This is a Peddler's Den item, so the discount code that you're going to get will apply to this. We sell this in the 2-ounce bottles, and there's also an 8-ounce bottle. If you invest in the 8-ounce bottle, it's equal to buying 3 of these and getting 1 free. So please follow us on YouTube. Please check out our website. We also have a sister site that is called StampingSafari.com. The Stamping Safari site is for our events. We do run a retreat here in Northeast Alabama where we teach a series of classes. We start with the beginner level, and through the course of the retreat, we build on that, and we teach you a number of techniques and skill levels. When you're not taking classes, which are completely optional, you have your own station where you can work on your own projects round the clock if you want to. So I would encourage you to also check out StampingSafari.com. Most importantly, my name is Tanya Weekly, and I am here to help you. If you need to, you can contact me. The website has my phone number on it, but it would be 256-660-0999. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed this. And I'm going to sign off now. Tanya Weekly with Peddler's Den.